Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Harakwa Kodash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone that surely do rule well. Salutation to the Akion that push this word out there in sincerity and in truth. This is Brother Lamar once again from GMS Trinidad. Alright, coming to do another sit down video. Hope it edifying towards you, hopefully elect. Alright, and also to basically them gainsayers like polite, however the case is, who going around talking about we teaching um basically marrying 12-year-old, right? Nobody in Great Millstone ain't going and take a 12-year-old, all right, to wife in these days. All we just saying it there, the facts there, scriptures there, research is there. Alright, and he talking about he's an Egyptian, and back in the ancient world, people, you know, used to marry the daughter at a young age. Alright, and for you people who will be offended, really and truly, it's in the scriptures, but nobody, I mean, wisdom exalted to children. Alright, nobody in this day and age going and marry a 12-year-old. That is against the so-called law of the land. Alright, which where hey, if you ain't a Muslim, you can't think that practice. And that's just to show you how shitty the laws of the land is. Alright, it is biased, and it's not a just law. Alright, but let me just bring this precept first before. Okay, so I didn't open it yet. Alright, because guess what? These laws, right, were laws that the Most High God Himself gave to Moses. Alright? So the laws of Israel is not the laws of man. The laws of Israel is the laws of God. Alright? So anybody who basically going against the doctrine that Yahweh Hashem Yahshai taught us unto Great Millstone is a hypocrite. If you people say you love God and you love the Bible, alright, hey, and we are the only men who's really and truly speaking the truth. Alright, we are the men that speaking this truth and in sincerity. Alright, so really and truly is not a problem you have with us, it's a problem you have with the Most High. Alright, this is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 1 verse 7. It says, "We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments which thou commanded thy servant." Alright? So guess what? We the children of Israel, we basically went against the commandments, the laws and the statutes that the Most High, and the commandments that the Most High gave Moses. Alright? It was not Moses' law, but it was the laws that the Most High gave Moses to the children of Israel. And anytime you go against these commandments that the Most High gave you, basically he curse you. Alright? Because the Most High gave commandment of every man, or how they should treat their neighbor, how they should deal with things according to the land that the land not spew out. When you go through each one of these laws individually, alright, everything makes sense. Alright, this is in the Apocrypha, the book of Ecclesiasticus 17 verse 10 and 11, I believe. Alright, it says and the elect shall praise his holy name. Besides this, he gave knowledge and the law of life and heritage. Alright, so it was the law of life, how a human being should basically go about dealing with their everyday life, with their situation, the priestlyhood, marriages, so forth and so fifth. All right. Um, he made an everlasting covenant with them and shewed them his judgments. Their eyes saw the majesty of his glory, and their ears heard his glorious voice. All right. Verse 14, and he said unto them, beware of all unrighteousness. All right, so the Lord said beware of unrighteousness, basically like anything that is evil, corrupt. All right, so the Most High give us laws are good and evil. All right, and he give every man commandment concerning his neighbor. All right, so what I going into right about now is so because guess what, like some people, they ain't going and believe until either might actually do the research. All right, because polite, guess what, you believe in the so-called white man, you believe in Egyptology, it's them who teach that. All right, but guess what, the Most High use the God um of of the Bible, the true and living power, right? He used the so-called white man to bring out all this information too, because he had the resources, he had the money, so he could do the digging up. All right, so going into a little article here, because yesterday me and those brothers also, we was on the what you may call it, the hangouts. All right, so I myself was doing some digging up on the internet. All right, and I came across some articles, because guess what, most people go against the teaching of Great Millstone, because you know what, we do research, we were starting with the elders, they do the research, they bring down certain things onto us, we do the research to make sure that it is so. All right, we examine it thoroughly, go back and forth. All right, and it is claimed to be true. All right, and really and truly, I never really look up something like this before. I was going with the doctrine, going into the scriptures, whatever the case is, but someone tell me, just look up certain things last night. So this one here, wedding and marriages traditions in ancient Israel. All right, because we brought all the precept yesterday in Jeremiah 6:16, where it says, seek ye the old paths and walk therein, right? Because thy righteousness and thy basically, your rest. All right, so this was somebody who went, and every basically everything that was taught to us by the elders, this person actually bringing out everything. All right, now they say wedding, because we does bring it out in what, through the scriptures, but this person actually went into the total research. They probably went into Israel, asked questions, dig up artifacts, read scriptures too. All right, and they're just backing our point. All right, so if you Christians who have a problem with our doctrine self, go and do some research. That is all you have to do. Go back into the ancient, the ancient. All right, because guess what, I sure if you the type of marriages in modern day, do that, tell you all kind of blasted madness. All right, but anyway, let me go into it. Wedding and marriage traditions in ancient Israel. All right, this says marriage in ancient Israel was very different from marriage today. So truth. Although there is a great deal we do not know about Israelite marriage, the biblical text that speaks about it tells us that many Israelite marriage customs were unlike those of modern Western societies. First, although girls were expected to be virgins when they got married, and according to Deuteronomy 22, verse 21, could even be put to death if they were found not to be. Alright, yeah, because we wasn't supposed to be dealing with harlots. The scriptures say, kill that, so evil will be put away from you. Alright. Men were allowed to marry multiple women. All right. Now this is God laws. This ain't man laws. All right. I'll just read because the scripture it says Jeremiah. Let me say Jeremiah. No, Jeremiah. Deuteronomy Salakia. 21 verse 15. if a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated. Now, when I mean hated, it's not like how some people watch hate. It basically, he ain't really regard the next one. He have a preference. All right. Then it shall be when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he had, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which indeed the firstborn. Right, so basically, like he had a second wife and preferred the second wife above the first, but the first wife actually brought forth his firstborn. All right, so there's laws for this, where the firstborn would actually have the inheritance. All right, so um, it have a next one where if a man take another wife, all right, all these are laws that the Most High give man. Just people nowadays days, guess what? The too blasted emotional. This is Exodus 21:10. It says, if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. All right. So what you talking about here? It's speaking about um if a man take another wife, the first wife, he not supposed to, her duty of marriage, meaning what? He's still supposed to come in onto her. He's supposed to still have sexual intercourse with her. All right. Um, just now, just what jumped on next article, real quick here. Where are thou? Believe is this one. Alright, woman and the law in ancient Israel. The ancient Hebrew law code outlined in the Bible unfortunately lacks the detail that can be found in other ancient legal systems such as the Babylonian and Roman, but we can at least summarize the general principles. Now, marriage, the first thing, marriage was called taking a wife, alright, or taking a woman, because if you go back into the Hebrew, the word for wife is Ayasha or Asha, which also means woman. So when a man take a woman, alright, when he take a woman, what he going to do? He going to lie with it. That is marriage. When a man lie with a woman, alright, and takes her virginity, right? Here it say it involves sexual intercourse. Nowhere here it says it involves a wedding ring and going to a pastor, because where was the pastors long ago? Alright, where was the priest? Alright. Verse 3, while there was no death penalty in Hebrew law for property crimes, adultery was a capital offense for both participants. So a man would have given a real bad for his wife. Nobody ain't supposed to come and make your wife a harlot. By making your wife a harlot, so long she takes her next dick when the first dick's alive, she's a harlot. Alright. Verse 4, marriage and children were necessary to have a fulfilled life. A childless woman could call herself a mother by giving her maidservant to her husband as a second wife, assuming, of course, the maidservant did indeed produce a child. 5. A widow had the right to marry her husband's brothers if he lived in the same town. Alright, so yeah, if a man having a wife and he did not have seed with her, alright, no, the brother or the next of kin would have come in onto the wife, and what would happen? The firstborn child that come out of between the brother and the wife or the widow, right, would carry on the name of the brother that died. All right. 6, polygamy. To me, I thought it was polygamy, but anyway, polygamy was permitted but uncommon. All right, meaning what? A man was it was permitted to a man to have more than one woman, but not the next way around. Divorce was easy for a man and impossible for a woman. Why divorce was easy for a man and impossible for a woman is because really what the according to the research here on the next article, man would have paid what they call either a dowry, or I forget the next one. When I go back into the next article, I'll show you. All right, what was a price, or what they'll call a wedding gift to the father or the family for the maiden. All right. So really and truly, the scriptures talk about, the brothers always bring it out. It's in the scriptures there. He that begot it a wife, right? He gets it a possession and a rest. All right. So really and truly, even though you women don't like it, you actually belong to a man. You are a man possession. No matter now that things, because Esau just changed up the whole system. So really and truly, it's just wickedness and confusion that going on. But you belong to a man. All the shit that you women just be talking about, um independent this and independent that, you better get your mind right now before the Most High come and get your mind right for you, right? Because a lot of you women nowadays, all they have attitude, all they want to speak to all the man however what, but guess what, it wasn't so. All right, now in this system here, where woman could actually divorce the man, like, hey, is the man who does spend his labor, his money on you. All right, no matter how big, no matter how small, you belongs to your husband. You carry on your husband's name. Alright, verse 8, the 8 point, childlessness was the most common reason for divorce. Alright. 2, the woman moved to the husband's home and family. Alright. 10, while the husband was clearly the boss, each expected, right? While the husband was clearly the boss, the head man, each expected love from the other, and a wife had the legal right to support. All right. So yeah, you women had the legal right to support, a comfort. All right, a rest. But not now these days. Or really is more headache than anything else. Right. The most I will put all you in back in all the right mind. All right, so the men can truly get rest. Like scripture say, arise and depart, for this is not the rest. Even a woman these days, they ain't a comfort until, and that is a real bad thing. All right, woman adding to your stress when it's supposed to be taken away. Right, the Apostle Ariam Lab, basically did that video where you know come now Satan, where Satan does play anymore. Yeah, where Satan give Eve feminism. All right, that you woman thinking that all it could be you know equal to a man. Where is this? Where is this? Come now, man. Come now, man. I just wanted to bring that up a little bit. I don't want to hurt anybody's eyes. All right. Let me see. Where was I? It says right, could even be put to death if they were found not to be men. B, virgins basically, right? You know, hope all they find it and keeping up. Men were allowed to marry multiple women. It is hard to know how common polygamy, right? I know that was good, which entail a husband being married to more than one woman, really was in ancient Israel. Also, the evidence suggests that compared to women, men had more control over whom they married. For example, Samson chose his own wife in Judges 14, even though his parents disapproved of the match, right, because it was a heathen woman, right, and it's not a custom for us to really go on to heathens to wife. Most likely, girls were married around puberty. When does a woman start to see the puberty light? At the age of 12, 13, 14, you have to make sure the person ripe in the sense that, hey, they make sure the breast and them good. The seeing the flowers, whatever the case is. In scripture talk about the flower age. All right. Because hey, what the world calling wickedness is actually righteousness. So the scripture Isaiah 5:20, warn to you that call good evil and evil good, that put light for darkness, darkness for light, put sweet for bitter and bitter for sweet. You people actually saying the most I wrong. All right. You scriptures say, are not my ways equal and not your ways unequal? You people don't know what you're saying. You're ignorant. You can't tell the originator of the earth how to do things. You wasn't there in the beginning with him, right? The same questions he asked Job in Job 38. All right. Yeah, so girls were married around puberty, whereas men, right, were somewhat older. Why men were older? Because they had to make sure that the man was more established to actually look after a family. So he won't really, a man wouldn't, give his daughter to somebody who he know ain't going and take care of his daughter. All right, you have to make sure that he making the saddest man having. All right, that is why parents really and truly supposed to be inside of but boy, he saw basically a love, emotions, heart. It wasn't like that long ago. All right, it says though unions were generally based more on economic or social considerations than romantic ones. All right, so the so-called white man, what he do is just puts emotions, emotions. All right, you're not supposed to deal with emotions on judgments and on certain things. Some texts, including the Songs of Songs, show us that ideas of passion and sexual love were also present in ancient Israel. All right, so yes, you would actually have those, but it might have been rare, right? In order to marry a girl, a man would give her father a gift called in Hebrew that would seal the betrothal between the bride and husband to be. Betrothal was much firmer commitment than today's engagement. Though some people think of the betrothal gift as a purchase price, this is inaccurate. Anthropologists call this gift bride wealth. It is found in many societies throughout the world and is not considered a sale by people in those cultures. Israelite wives were not thought of as slaves in biblical texts, though men sometimes did marry slave women. Some length of time after the betrothal, wedding festivities, often involving days of feasting, would occur, which would actually be 7 to 14 days. All right. Um, the relationship between husband and wife was not equal in the ancient Near East. Why? Because according to Genesis 3:16, all right, I'll read it right in the scriptures. Genesis 3:16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. All right, and our next precept here is 1 Corinthians 11 verse 3. All right, see, people don't read. All right, and then people, hey, you people, two-thirds are Jake. You don't like righteousness. You don't like order. On Facebook, you see a man, a girl beat up a man and stab him and whatever. You see, I'm a real man. I'm a real man. No matter what, man. You know she done bust up my nose. No matter what, you don't ever hit back a woman. You don't. You are a fool. Either mighty or joy. That example, he said, boy, you don't have this gender thing again with man and woman, but I would have beat that until it realizes again. Right? That Jake text and say, boy, I was sending she back to God. All right, because no way going and let a woman, you understand, I is the image of like this of God. I rule over you, and you come in and play, you hit me. You have to be mad. You have to be on that flacker job or something. You have to be crazy, right? 1 Corinthians 11 verse 3. But I would have right? Hold on. God. Yeah, God. Right? It says, right? But I would have you know that the head of every man is Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Mashiach is power. All right, so there's an order system that the Mosai actually set up. All right, so no way a woman's supposed to be talking up to a man, because a man can't talk up to the Mosai. All right, and if the son of the Most High humble himself underneath the Father, we supposed to humble ourselves underneath the Messiah, and you women supposed to humble yourself underneath all your man. I did this talking up thing. If the Most High could box we in we face, trust me, we have authority to box all in all your blasted eye too. Alright? But just society, you know, just have everything out of order. No, nobody ain't saying I'm promoting a man should beat up his wife, but hey, every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. No woman ain't coming to stab me up or play play, they're gonna hit me, Miss Lady. Or let us talk about people, what people like to talk about, everybody come from a mother, everybody come from a mother. You're not supposed to be hitting a woman, but everybody come from a man, because you was actually in your father balls back before you enter into your mother. So in not no way somebody supposed to be hitting the fucking father or a man. Keep your hands to yourself. All right. So it says here what the relationship between husbands and wives was not equal in the ancient Near East, including Israel. They say Baal, one of the Hebrew words for husband, also meant Lord or master. All right. So we is only Lord, master, or breadwinner. We sweat, we go there, we sweat, we labor, we look after you, we look after our children. No matter how small it is, no matter how big it is, you're supposed to have respect for your goddamn man. Alright? Going on, it says, a man had life and death power over women in the case of adultery, which in ancient Israel involved a woman having sex outside of her marriage, of a man having sex with another man's wife. So that is adultery. Nowhere in the scriptures, where you read the scriptures, you don't ever see a man being put to death for having sex with another woman when he's married. If it is that the man have sex with a woman and she is married, both of them be put to death. But a man was allowed to have multiple wives. Man, it shouldn't even have adultery in Israel, because Israel had woman like. You understand? I don't know how men used to. Anyway, I don't, boy, it does happen. But you know, it wasn't something that's supposed to be happening. All right. And that is why you women are supposed to be keep covered up too. That a man ain't going and lust over your beauty. But you people like to show off all your man beauty for Tom, Dick, Harry Lal, and the blasted waka man. Alright? It says, though could have multiple wives. Alright? Men, though, could have multiple wives and concubines and were allowed to go to prostitutes. Woo! That's a sin! That's a goddamn sin! But these pastors supposed to know about the scriptures, eh? They'll tell you a prostitute. Boy, don't tell them that. They hang and say, devil, haven't we thou said that he has a demon and is a Samaritan? Anyway, yeah, you see, if these pastors used to research too, they would have realized it, but they'll never teach that. Especially for these women, especially if they're trying to get into the next brother wife jaws, they ain't going and tell her he could go to prostitutes now. The brother wife is a prostitute, because both are looking to link up when the husband ain't there. Alright, the pastor. But don't preach that, The woman who is a prostitute don't want to hear she's a prostitute, The same way how these homosexuals who is homosexual don't want to hear there's a homosexual. But guess what? If you walk like one, you quack like one is one. Alright? It says thus monogamy was a one-way street in this culture. And I would love to have it too. Right? Because trust me, I'm a jealous person. Right? It says biblical texts make clear that marriages between cousins were strongly preferred. Sin! Blasphemy! What blasphemy? That's wickedness. You're right. The scripture don't go against that at all. If we read in the book of Tobit, alright, let's see if I could get it. No, I'll go for it in the there is Tobit 7 verse 12. Right, it have other accounts in the scriptures itself, right? Because Isaac and Rebecca were cousins. Jacob, Rebecca, and Leah were cousins. All right, it had a woman by the name of Noah. I can't remember. They I believe they were Levites. If they yeah, I believe they were Levites in the book of Numbers. All right, they were sent on to their cousins male to keep the inheritance within that tribe. You understand? Because their father had no male, right? So they had to go to a cousin or their uncle's son to keep the heritage within that. And hey, watch that, the heritage would actually belong to the uncle's son. So really and truly, the men were more preferred because why? The men are the builders of the nation. The men are the builders of the races. Go back to the Hebrew word ban or bana. Ban is son, bana is builder, but ban is also translated, or one of the reference is a builder. All right, you women don't build. You help in the process of the building, but the man is the one who plants the seed. Right. All right. Let me see. Bap bap bap. The Apocrypha, Tobit 7, 11 and 12. Hey, and guess what? Don't even say it's wickedness, because you know a lot of you jakes out there, you leave your home with your cousin. It does happen. You watching your cousin watching you. Your cousin has sexual attraction, you have a sexual attraction to your cousin, boom, all it know all his cousin, all it boom, all it do it. But a person in the right mind won't do that with his sister, because why? It ain't nothing, that ain't something natural for the human being. Alright? So don't act all hypocritical, because a lot of you are hypocrites. A lot of you people are hypocrites. Alright, this is right verses Tobit 7, and start at verse 11. It says, I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night. They came in unto her, nevertheless, for the present be merry. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another. Now, is Raguel, no, the man, he wasn't a whoremonger. Whoremonger is someone who sells what, sell whores, right? Like a warmonger sell whores, all right. What he was saying, hey, these men, they came in to have his daughter as a wife, but they end up dying because of an evil spirit. You understand? So it wouldn't be unlawful, because these men passed. Some of them probably, hey, who knows if anybody even really cut she had sex with she or penetrated. All right. So probably she still was a virgin. All right. Just saying. Right. Verse 12. Raguel said, then take her from henceforth according to the manner, for thou art her cousin. So it says according to the manner. That manner is what? That manner is in the laws of the Most High. It is not, if you read Leviticus 18, the whole of Leviticus 18 tell you who and who not to have sex with. At no point in time it ever says that a man should not have sex with his uncle's daughter or his aunt's daughter. All right, at no point in time it says thou shalt not have sex with thy sister, the daughter of your father, or the daughter of your mother. Thou shalt not have sex with thy uncle's wife, she is thy aunt. Thou shalt not have sex with thy mother's sister, she's thy aunt, thy close kin. All right, so the whole book of Leviticus 18 tell you who and who not to have sex with. All right, so as I was saying, people just end up having sex with their cousin, but either knowingly or unknowingly. All right. But if somebody find out, hey, they has sex with his sister unknowingly, and they had sex and they get to find out because the father was a badass or the mother was just a badass, so whatever the case is, they'll be like, they're like, yuck, you understand? But people will literally go and have sex with their cousin. Because why? It's not something unnatural. It's not against the laws of the Most High. Right? It says, for thou art her cousin, and she is thine, and the merciful power gave you good success in all things. So he actually said, let God bless you. You understand? Now, if it was something wrong, and these being righteous men, why they say God bless you? All right? If it was something wrong. All right? So it also proven that this person research is accurate according to the scriptures. Um, boom, boom, boom. All right. Biblical texts make clear that marriage between cousins was strongly preferred. Marriages with non-Israelites are treated differently by different texts. Although some passages either limit to prohibit marriage between Israelites and non-Israelites, other biblical texts such as the book of Ruth are tolerant of intermarriage. Leviticus 18 prohibits incest but does not include uncle-niece marriages, because why? It is not incest. Right? Which are prohibited in some later Jewish communities, including those responsible for writing the Dead Sea Scrolls. So that is people who came way after. Deuteronomy 25, 5-10 encourages a custom called levirate marriage, where a widow marries her husband brother if her husband has died without children. A similar, though not identical, practice is found in the book of Ruth. Alright, so basically I have already explained this. Alright, this would have been the person who did the research. So I'm going back into the article that I said, alright, that I would have read. Alright, bam 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 bam. Women and the law in ancient Israel. Alright, so I don't read these. I have already read these 10 points. Alright, it says the following contains additional material from the Bible and other Jewish sources such as the Talmud and the Halakha. Don't deal with this Talmud shit. But anyway, taking a wife or being married. The importance of marriage to the ancient Israelites is clear enough in the Bible, but nowhere is there any information on the ceremony itself, and it is likely that customs varied from one local to another. In Leviticus 18, there is a list of prohibited relations. A man cannot marry his sister, etc. These appear less concerned with the dangers of inbreeding and more concerned with ensuring that no woman can be related to a man in more than one way. For example, a woman cannot be both an aunt and a wife to the same man. Alright, same thing as explaining. A man was permitted to marry his dead wife's sister since he has no longer related to her. So yes, that is actually going lower down in Leviticus 18. I believe it's around verse 20, 22, somewhere around there. Alright, it says, while close relatives were forbidden, men usually married women who lived in the same area. Hey, nowadays days that is something wrong because boy, you're not going to marry nobody in the area. Or be doing nobody. Yeah, that is how shit up society gets. But that is how they would actually keep things close now. Right? Unlike these Syrians and them will actually marry the sister, whatever the case is, we would have married a cousin because it was not permitted by the laws of the Most High. Alright, same area, limiting ownership of property to people in the same village and enabling the bride to maintain contact with her birth family even after moving to the home of her husband. So this is also how you'll keep the family tree or the generation or inheritance in the land. Alright, by actually doing something like this rather than selling somebody quite so and selling somebody quite so and selling somebody quite so. Alright, this is how you'll actually know somebody inheritance and where their bloodline actually comes from, and if this lot of land belong to you or so forth and so forth. Alright, so bride price. Bride price was the practice in pre-literal society whereby the groom was expected to pay an amount sufficient to compensate the bride's family for the loss of labor when she moved to her husband's home. Because why? Your children is a servant, is a inheritance, alright? So you would actually give your daughter to, right? Because your daughter would have certain chores to do for you, the father, or whatever the case is. Right? This may have been the motivation behind Laban's demand in Genesis 29 that Jacob worked two consecutive 7-year terms in order to earn the right to marry Leah and Rachel. Right? Both of them were sisters, and they were his cousins. The reason why this was permitted is because Laban actually tricked Jacob, alright, that he would actually work for him longer, because what Laban realized is that he was getting blessed through Jacob. Alright, in Exodus 22:16-17, we read that a man who lies with an unbetrothed virgin must pay the marriage present and marry her. In Deuteronomy 22:28-29, we learn that a man who rapes an unbetrothed virgin must pay 50 shekels to her father and marry her. GMS does preach rape. It does preach rape. That could never be. That could never be a God. That could never be a God. I mean, demons. But look, the person who doing the research here, Let me read it over. We learn that a man who rapes an unbetrothed virgin or unpromised virgin must pay 50 shekels to her father and marry her. Alright? A raped woman was considered unmarriageable. A forced marriage to her rapist was thought to be better than no marriage at all, and that actually went on in David's house. Alright? Because hey, guess what? Sometimes in Israel, a man might not have the money, because guess what? To actually have woman is money. Even to this present day, all the damn woman is headache and all is money. You understand? So a man might have just take by force, but if they be found, alright, because a man would have a rape and just dive out. But if they be found, so you have to pay. Alright, so that is just the law of the Most High, is righteousness. Alright, it says these reference would appear to suggest the existence of a system where men purchased their wives and had to pay real money. But 50 shekels was a reasonable wage for a worker for 5 years. So you see, 50 shekels of silver is real money. You can imagine that. I think I actually did calculations. I think in TT that would actually be $14,000. All right. If my calculations are correct concerning to one shekel of silver, I believe, El Apostle Taha was doing it. One shekel of silver would actually be 200 US, right? So you convert that into TT, that would be 1,400 by 50, right? I think it would actually come up to 14,000, right? And would be well beyond the resources of the average suitor. Such a sum might be compensation for an act of rape, but could hardly be, as some have suggested, the normal price for a bride. Right, what they say here, the Halakha was a collection of texts in which various rabbis presented their views on how Jewish tradition should be applied in specific cases. The result was perhaps not a true law, but its teaching carried considerable weight. Bam, bam, bam. Sexual intercourse. Every marriage was expected to produce offspring. Right? So somehow all the woman all they want to marry and all they don't want to bring forth pick me. You understand? All they supposed to bring forth pick me. That's what all they here for. Bring forth pick me. Or all they want cut all they blasted fallopian tube, all they want the man cut his sperm duct. No. You bring forth pick me. That is scripture saying Psalms 27. Alright. Psalms 27 verse 5. Because they said most likely it was a blessing to children now, but now these days Esau one child, two children. Boy, wickedness of the so-called white man, right? I believe it's verse 3. It says, right, lo, Psalms 127 verse 3, lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Right? So children at a young age. So men would have been knocking up thing at 13, 14, boy. It is a man how riches at the age 13, 14 in them days. Shell long big ship. 5. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. So the more children you had, it would have been a blessing. Alright. Every marriage was expected to produce offspring, since neither society nor the individual could survive long. Otherwise, marriage without sex was incomprehensible to the ancients. Alright, so it just wouldn't make sense. You're just having sex and man bring forth picnic. Alright, but Esau trying to change up everything with this bottom sex and anal sex and man with man. He just hates. The so-called white man is the devil. Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem, Harakwa Kodash, gonna destroy him. He's anti-life. He just against everything that living. Alright? Because why? He greedy. He want everything for himself. So he bring out all these philosophies and all these doctrines that You know, he could have everything for himself. Alright, because he greedy. And how you Jakes and them in he blasted genjutsu and he blasted bubble. Come out of that. Alright? People but child marriage and advantage and things. So you saying you actually calling the most high wicked. But the most high ways are equal, all the ways unequal. Alright? So it says marriage without sex was incomprehensible to the ancients. And it made sense that Hebrew law required the marriage to be consummated before it had any legal effect. Right? Hebrew law also stated that a man who raped an unbetrothed virgin, thereby married to her, and could never divorce her. Deuteronomy 28, verse 22, verse 28. You look up the word rape, it means take by force. Well, it don't mean by taking a woman and forcing yourself inside of the box. No, it doesn't mean that. Right? It says almost every groom insisted his bride be a virgin and be able to prove it if the groom believed he had received damaged goods. You see that? Received damaged goods. He had the right to challenge her family to produce the proof. If the sheets from the marital bed did not show the required blood, then the men of the village would stone her to death in front of her father's home. If on the other hand the elders were satisfied that the bride had been a virgin, then the groom would be whipped, required to pay 100 shekels of silver to her father and lose forever the right to divorce her. Alright? So that is the laws of the Most High. So polite and all with the madness, with the bullshit. The scriptures say marry your daughter while she's young. Alright, but when she's of a reasonable age, you ain't gonna have sex with that 8-year-old man. You ain't gonna have sex with a 9, 10, 11-year-old or 12-year-old. Matter of fact, you're not even supposed to marry an 8-year-old when she ain't saying she blasted period. Alright? So you people, you're just emotional, and the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahshua gonna destroy you for all your lack of knowledge and foolishness. Alright, so I'll cut it off there, Almost time to go and do the Lord's work. With that, give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Haruka Kodash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone that surely do well. Salutation to the Akim that push this word out there in sincerity and truth. Brother Lamar once again saying Shalom.